Hello and welcome back. I hope you're all doing well, and I'm here with a video for you. So we're going to cover quite a few topics, so settle in for this one. So if you're here for the first time, welcome. Our first story comes from news at sky.com, where they're saying that Prince Harry's Madame Tussauds wax work has been reunited with the royal family for the coronation. So the article says this: a waxwork figure of Prince Harry has been reunited with the rest of the royal family figurines at Madame Tussauds in London, ahead of his real-life return to the UK for the King's coronation. The 38-year-old royal will be attending the historic event, which will see his father, King Charles, crowned king, and his stepmother, Camilla, crowned queen consort at Westminster Abbey on Saturday. So, this is so funny as I'm looking over this image, and they've totally put him back on the display, which to me makes me wonder. I mean, it's like he was any less royal as he stepped back from being a working member. I mean, he is royal by blood, so what? Anyway, the article goes on to tell us that Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, will remain at home in Los Angeles to be with the couple's son, Prince Archie, on his 4th birthday, as we all know. Reflecting this, her figure will not be moved to the throne room but will remain in the awards party zone, along with other US-based celebrities including Brad Pitt, George Clooney, and the Beckhams. The article goes on to say the Duke and Duchess of Sussex's waxworks were moved to the party zone in 2020 after the couple stepped back from royal duties and moved to California. Pictured wearing a black and white suit, Prince Harry's smiling figurine will join those of his brother, who also wears a black and white suit, and Catherine, Princess of Wales, wearing an emerald green gown. The King's waxwork has been redressed in homage to the outfit he wore for the first state banquet of his reign. Okay, so that goes on and on. So that was a very interesting story. They said that the general manager at Madame Tussauds, London, Tim Waters, said, quote, "From today, Prince Harry has officially rejoined the Royal Palace experience at our attraction." He went on to say, quote, "The temporary move reflects the Duke of Sussex's participation in the coronation and ensures guests will be able to get up close to all members of the royal family attending this once-in-a-lifetime event." His figure will remain in the Royal Palace experience until the end of the coronation celebrations, after which he will take the short trip back to the Attraction Awards party zone to stand by Meghan's figurine amongst our Hollywood A-listers, end quote. So yeah, what an interesting story that was. I wanted to share this because as they show the images of them all, or these waxworks reunited, it made me wonder about how a lot of you have been speculating on how some sections have had this desire that Prince Harry would return to the UK and rejoin his family, and with that caveat being that he would be without Meghan. And I think it's no secret that a lot of people have expressed that desire that Harry would rejoin the members of his family and, nix Meghan out of the picture somehow. And we know that it's not gonna happen. Prince Harry is quite committed to his wife and absolutely loves being a dad to his kids. And it's just never gonna happen. He loves Meghan, he chose her. And as he romantically put in his book, that when he looked at Meghan, that for him, that the conveyor belt was broken. And just me paraphrasing. So he does love Meghan. He is not going to put her away. And for those people who are saying, once again, that when they were at the NBA game and they had that moment where it could have been a kiss cam moment, and people, and I saw an article stating that they are living separate lives. That's why she, quote, rebuffed him. It's not that. Meghan was never going to have that performative moment for the crowds and bowing to any performative pressures that might have been put upon her at that moment. If she was going to kiss him, it was going to be organic. And I think that she knows that if she did play into that moment, that people would have perhaps said that she was an attention seeker at that moment. Sometimes people have to view things from her perspective. And she did the one thing where she could just play down the moment and keep the focus on the game. And she was definitely not trying to make that moment about her. So let me know your first thought on the story of the Duke of Sussex's waxwork being put back in the Madame Tussauds throne room. Let me know your thoughts even on why it had to be removed in the first place. He is no less royal by blood just because he stepped back. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on all that in the comment section below. So this is a very interesting story as well here that a lot of you have been pointing out online. I thought I'd comment on this. There have been some leaks from the palace, which once again confirming what Harry said. And they were saying that, as we all know, King Charles's coronation is just on the horizon. And they were saying that Prince Harry was being accused of, quote, making everyone sweat about his movements. And they said that he had left coronation organizers worried that he might pull out of the ceremony at the last minute because he was keeping them in the dark. So they said he had failed to provide details to officials about his plans for this week. And they said this is quite interesting from gbnews.com. This is a quote. While the royals are confident he will show up, others involved are not quite so convinced. And this is from, one of those sources. And it goes on to say, quote, the working assumption now is that assuming he does come, it would mean arriving as late as very early Saturday by private jet and leaving by late afternoon the same day, end quote. And they went on to say, this is the part that was quite interesting, quote, Harry seems to be adopting a high noon approach, making everyone sweat about his movements. And they said that, end quote, and they went on to say that they were still seeking confirmation on, quote, when he was coming, where he is staying, when he is going back, whether he is happy with his seating position in the Abbey. And he said that he had not responded other than a, quote, we acknowledge your email, end quote. So they said that was a holding manner for him. And they said it was like trying to, quote, communicate with Mars. It was easier to get a deal with Sinn Féin, end quote. So that, by the way, is the leader of the Irish Nationalist Party, who was the political arm of the IRA, who will be attending King Charles's coronation. So that's quite an interesting story. Once again, those sources proving Harry right. And also, why should he let them know about all his movements? So that it can be a talking point all the way up to the coronation. You know how much news that would generate for the press, knowing where he would be staying. Will he be at Frogmore? Will he have a room at Buckingham Palace? Knowing his exact plans and being able to definitively comment on perhaps where he might be going, whether he would have any meetings with his dad or anyone else. So why should he give them that information? I love the fact that he is just playing his cards close to his chest and, yes, keeping them in the dark. I think that for his own security, because we do not even know what the plans surrounding his security are, he does need to keep that level of obscurity about him and his plans of when he is coming, what flights he will be taking. Because you know what? If he says, I'm coming on Friday at 1 p.m., all they need to do is check the flights. The possible flights would be narrowed down. For those who are the sleuths among them, they would be able to pinpoint so much. So I think it's in his best interest to keep all of that away. And also, he doesn't play this game with the tabloids. They do not need to be making money off of him. So let me know your thoughts on Prince Harry not really giving them when he will be coming, how long his visit would be, where he will be staying. Share your thoughts on that below. So there's also been confirmation on the fact that Prince Harry will visit London for less than 48 hours for King Charles's coronation. I think we all know that Archie will be turning 4 years old on the day of his royal grandfather's coronation. And while Harry will miss his son's birthday to attend the ceremony, he will not stay in London for the rest of the coronation events that will take place onward. Harry's attendance at King Charles's and Camilla's coronation will mark his first reunion with his royal family since the release of his memoir Spare. And according to Bazaar.com, they have reported that he has not yet seen his father or his brother. I think that's common knowledge. He has not seen any of them, even while he has been in the UK for some of the court proceedings. So they do say this, that Prince Harry, his stop in England will be quite quick. He will be there flying in ahead of the May the 6th event, and he will leave immediately after, which means he will be in London for less than 48 hours to celebrate King Charles's major moment. So let me know your thoughts on that. And once again, calling back to the last story I covered, there seems to be a lot of buzz about some of those organizers wanting Harry to confirm if he's happy or not with his seating. I think for me, Prince Harry is not concerned with those things. the whole balcony thing. I think he just wants to be there or celebrate his dad's big day. King Charles has been waiting for that moment for so long, and he doesn't have to do anything that would be, quote, excess. He just wants to be there for the main thing and rush home to his son, Archie. And yeah, because that's what a good dad does, and Prince Harry is a fantastic dad. So this is a fantastic segue into a story. As we talk about dads, we will go into a story about paternity. We have here a story where you've seen by the title of this video with that bit of a cryptic title, there has been a man from Australia who's claimed to be the secret son of Prince Charles and Camilla. I think some of you may know this, some of you may not know this. His name is Simon Durant Day, and he says that his paternity claims have been a result of decades of research, with his grandmother, who used to work for the Queen, having told him many times that he is the son of Charles and Camilla. He was born in 1966 in Gosport, Portsmouth, UK, and he was adopted by Karen and David Day when he was just 8 months old. His adoptive grandparents, Winifred and Ernest Bolden, had served the Queen and Prince Philip in a royal household, with Ernest even receiving an Imperial Service Award. The 57-year-old has been seeking a paternity test from the royal couple for close to 10 years. In a recent interview with 7 Live, he revealed plans to have William and Harry submit to DNA tests, as he believes there's already plenty of public speculation about their paternity. Interesting. Simon believes DNA testing will resolve questions about his own paternity once and for all, saying there are visual differences between the three of them that many have already noted. He has cited several factors as justification for his claims, and he hopes the DNA tests will identify others who are aware of the situation and part of a bigger game. So he has told 7 Life that he has been working on his next round of legal applications, reviewing various options, jurisdictions, and venues with which to proceed. And now he's selected that which he thinks is most effective and appropriate to the course of action to capture all the elements of the case and achieve a resolution. According to Durante Day's research, Charles and Camilla developed a close relationship in 1965, and he alleges that a few months after that, during the time leading up to his birth, Camilla disappeared from the social scene in the UK for a period of about 9 months. Meanwhile, he says Charles was sent to Australia. So that's quite an interesting story. He does now want William and Harry to submit to those DNA tests. So now Simon Durant Day has revealed plans to take on Prince William and Harry in an explosive new legal battle. He will be moving forward with a new legal bid to have William and Harry submit to DNA tests as well. So what do you think about him compelling DNA testing from Prince Harry and William? Let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think there's any hope for him, or do you think that Prince William and Harry will fight this in court? Or perhaps could you see any of them having mercy and just going along with it to see this individual get some kind of closure on what he has been pursuing for a couple of years? So let me know your thoughts on that in the comment section below. I'll just circle back to the coronation story that I covered earlier, as all these stories have been coming out. And people have been pointing to how the press has been reacting to a lot of these stories concerning the coronation, with that pledge that people, or that kind of, the better word is allegiance that people were being asked to swear to King Charles, and how attitudes of people have adjusted to the royal family. It is interesting to me that I read an article a while ago that pointed out that the Queen, I'm talking about Queen Elizabeth, how she was received and perceived in the eyes of not only the UK, but in the eyes of the world. And when she came to power, people in the UK were much more deferential to monarchy and how people see Charles now and how she was received. And something stood out to me in that article that I read. They spoke about while the Queen had that deference and people, had this whole monarchy being shrouded in mystery, a lot of that has been pulled down. And the issue that Charles has faced, why he has not been able to garner that level of respect that his mother had, is because people know a lot about him. We've been able to see his ups and his very big downs. The mystique has kind of been drawn away from Charles. I mean, just think about Tampon Gate. We never saw the Queen ever portrayed in that kind of light. I'm not saying that she never made mistakes, but nothing quite on Charles's level. And people have said that Charles has been a king in waiting for so long that he doesn't have the whole romance that his mother had. She was, thrust to the throne as a young woman. There's that whole story where she went up some kind of house as a princess, I think it was a tree house, and came down a queen. And there was a whole ethereal quality to, Queen Elizabeth. And Charles just simply does not have that. And I heard a couple of reporters saying that if it was, and this is quite interesting, it was someone who's not been quite favorable to Meghan. He pointed out that the interest in how people see the coronation, he said, when we look at King Charles and Camilla being crowned, that if it was Diana who was going to be crowned, that the whole world would have just tuned in to see this fairy tale story of this, young woman who married this prince, and now she was the Princess of Wales, and now she's the queen. Even people who do not like monarchy so much would have tuned in for that, because we all know Princess Diana had that star power and that pull. And he did point out that there's just not that much, excitement. It's very muted concerning this coronation, and a lot of this hullabaloo about Harry coming and what is he going to do. It's like that to generate the interest. And I'm so happy that he's kept his movements on the low. He's not letting them know about his movements. They will not supervise him and his movements in order to generate interest for the event. And I just love that about him. So let's see how that coronation goes. I think Meghan, as I said in a video before, she would have been one of the huge draws with the younger audiences, with American audiences. Let me know your thoughts on that. So we're on to another interesting story where apparently some people might have gotten a scoop on Prince Harry and Meghan's new project with Netflix. So we'll put this in the rumor category for now. I wanted just to cover it because I know now that as Meghan has signed with the powerhouse talent agency, WME, there will be a lot of information coming out on that end. People will be there looking for scoops. And this is quite different from Palace Leaks. These are people in entertainment who possibly have relationships with platforms like Netflix and on who may have the inside scoop on what's being discussed. So let's keep this first and foremost in the rumor category until we get any official response. So apparently, the Sussexes are in talks with Netflix once again to film a documentary in South Africa about humanitarian efforts in that country. So this is a quote. The documentary will feature the couple visiting communities in South Africa where they will be shown helping build houses and focusing on humanitarian efforts. It is reported that Meghan will also bring awareness to safe birthing practices, end quote. So cameras will apparently follow Harry and Meghan as they visit compounds and share medical education. And, they say that this is one of their upcoming projects because we all know Harry has his upcoming Heart of Invictus show about Invictus Games. And of course, we know about the Harry and Meghan documentary that happened last year. So they said it wouldn't be Harry and Meghan's first time to South Africa. They visited the country in 2019 on a royal tour. And, Meghan had a huge success with that, where she stood on that tree stump and said to the women and girls, and said she was there as a woman of color, and she was received so well. So as I've said, there is no word yet on any release date for this or any potential forthcoming Netflix documentary. So we will keep this in the rumor category. So let me know your thoughts on that. As we know, Meghan and Harry signed that huge deal with Netflix. So we do know on the horizon that they are possibly looking for avenues to have projects with Netflix, and a documentary following them around doing stuff is one way just to engage viewers and make sure that Netflix has a huge return on their investment. So that would be right up Prince Harry's alley if he would be shown helping build houses or focusing on humanitarian efforts or anything with the environment. I think that would be right up his alley. And Meghan, talking about women and girls, I think that would be for them a passion project, and they would be able to bring awareness to certain topics and engage their platform on Netflix. So share your thoughts on this in the comment section. So I'm so happy to cover all this news. You know that I will always bring a longer video because I just love having a chance to chat to you. So share your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, before we log off, a special thank you to those who support this channel financially. To all of my Patreon, PayPal, and membership supporters, I would like to say thank you. Thank you so much for how you support this channel. It truly means a lot to me. So I want to say a special thank you right now to you, Alima Zimmer. Thank you for the tremendous support you've been to my work. God bless you and I love you. And a special thank you right now to Leslie Allerhead. Thank you so much for giving to this channel, giving to my work, and for being such an encouragement. I appreciate you. Thank you to Angel Watt as well. Thank you for choosing to come along with me on this YouTube journey and giving to this channel so generously. I want to say thank you. And one more time, thank you, Marcel Kendrick. Thank you for your kindness and your love and your generosity. You are such a blessing. Thank you. Now, thank you to those who gave through Super Chat. Thank you, Olivia Johnson, for giving during the last live. I do appreciate you. And I say thank you for your absolute love that you've shown time and time again. Thank you for your continued support. God bless you. Once again, leave your thoughts on all these topics below. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. And if you want to watch how Meghan could join the $1 billion club, click the link here and at the end screen, and I will see you there. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a blessed one.